Well, hello everyone, and so glad you could join me tonight. Only a small contingent. I think everyone's got the January-itis, which is okay because it's your own business. I would like to say though, I'm just checking my mobile, someone sent me a message. Okay, just thought it might be someone not being able to get on. Tonight is possibly one of the most important calls I will do all year. And it'll be part 2 next week until we finish what I'm planning to do. So I have had personally a huge shift in the last few months. And to be really honest, I started putting that shift into practice last Monday, and I used the whole week in preparation. And I was telling myself I was definitely in preparation. It wasn't procrastination. I really did. I have thrown so much out. I've reorganized things, and I've really reorganized my attitude. And I'm in such a good place at the moment, and I really want all the team to be in a really good place as well. So before we get started tonight, I just want to do a little wee bit of housekeeping. As you all know, and we've just had a call on Hunters and Gatherers, we've had a very slight, tiny price rise. Do you know if all your beliefs are okay? That's not a big deal. To me, it was just a nuisance because I had to make sure I had all new documents and new figures. I believe the product's worth it. I believe what the company are doing for us is worth it. It's worth that increase. And seriously, it was, at one stage, it was a decade before we had an increase. And we didn't have much growth in the company, so it didn't warrant it. So Bronnie was trying to explain tonight why the price increase was there. Well, it's not only that they've had to put on more staff, and you sort of think, well, you know, they've got a lot more customers, they quadrupled their figures in the last 12 months, but it's all the infrastructure as well, whole new phone system, lots of new systems. So I just fully support the company and what they felt they needed to do. I wouldn't be real happy though if we had another one in 6 months, and that won't happen. So because we've got a slight tiny price rise, I'm going to really ask you some questions, some housekeeping questions. Have you gone to our Facebook files, on our Team Angels Facebook files? Have you rearranged your business file with all those documents with the edited prices and volumes and figures? Do you indeed have a business file? If you sat with someone tomorrow, how excited would you be if you got a new person? Have you got everything ready in your file? That person doesn't know anything except the new prices and the new volumes. Are you ready? So thank you for being honest. No, Melzi isn't. I don't know about you, Maria, and you're doing a dual business because Maria is an Australian franchisee and Simon is the UAE Dubai franchisee. You're covering it off on both fronts there. So if you aren't getting going till school goes back, and that's all I've heard this week, and that's okay, it's your own business, I'd suggest that you all do some preparation, some housekeeping at least. So what I want to do with you is I am going to show you just very, very briefly my business file so you know what I'm talking about, because when we get going, you'll realize why you need that business file. So I want to talk to you about something. You've all heard me talk about drawing a line in the sand. I think if you're on the call tonight, you've drawn a line in the sand and you're not looking back. Would I be correct? You're going to play above the line. And this isn't playing above the line just for yourself. It's for your team and for your future team. Okay. So I'm going to ask you something. What if nothing changes? What happens then? Nothing changes. Are you happy with doing your Juice Plus? Are you happy with your check? Are you happy with the amount of people you're helping? No. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. Okay. So, but what, I'm going to read this out. What if you got really strategic and focused, which is what I'm suggesting, and got the success that you want and deserve? What if you got strategic and focused? Every single person can do Juice Plus and be successful. Not everyone will do it that way. They'll possibly do what I did. Even though I'm relatively successful, I wasted a lot of years doing what I didn't need. And that's all history. That's all yesterday. If you listen to my webinar on the Success Summit, you'll know what I'm talking about. So all of us, most of us have got goals and plans for Surface Paradise Conference. So you need to honour those. The only way you can do that is by duplication. It's the only way that you can have success. So what I want to do before we start is, I'm just going to very quickly, I'm not going to even show you, I'm just going to tell you mostly what's in my business file. In the front, I've got 3 or 4 starter guides. Now you can have those, which you can purchase. They're 4 in a set. I've got a feeling they're about $14 or $20 for 4. Or you can go to your virtual office and you can print out the starter guide, staple it together, and you've got a gift to give to someone new. And then in my starter guide, I always have our duplication document. That's the one I've got with the big red arrow showing how it's just a duplicating thing, nothing more or nothing less. We might have a lot of components to our business, but all it is really talking, getting people on the product, getting people as franchisees, and repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. So I've got lots of copies of that. So if I've got, and I'm talking now, if I've got a brand new frontline person, because what I'm trying to achieve with the team is to duplicate myself so that if I've got Jenny Jones as a new frontline person and they put on Mel Kosh and Mel puts on Rachel and Rachel puts on Maria and Maria puts on Michelle, who's just come on the call with us, well, we're done and dusted because we've duplicated. But that's an ideal world. That will not happen as beautifully as that, but you can determine whether it will happen. You've got to offer it. You need to offer it to your new frontline person. So guess what? If you don't know what to do, how are you going to teach that person? So one of the biggest things I find in life is if I'm organized and prepared, my stress levels are way down. So what we were saying then, to get your business file organized is almost like godliness. It's like having the house organized. Then you can carry on with your life. So you've got the starter guides that you'll give to a new frontline franchisee. You've got some copies of your duplication diagram. Then I fully suggest that you have your fast track freedom plans, at least half a dozen copies. You've then got, I'm not sure that it's actually got a name, but it's fast tracking yourself all the way to SC. This is an outstanding document, and it's in our Team Angels files, I'm sure. It's one of the ones from Bronnie. So if you don't find it there, you'll find it in Hunters and Gatherers. That's the one where you encourage someone to get themselves and 2 other people on premiums, and then get 3 people to do the same, and you've got your 4,000 and you've got your bonus SDVF. So I thought I'd just show you that one. What I was talking about. I then have something else, and it's your action plan to SDVF, and it's the list of when you've got a new frontline franchisee. It's got all the values of the products, and it's a cumulative way of them tracking how close they are to their first 1,000 or 4,000. Everyone probably knows the one I mean. Do you know the one I mean? It's this one. You've got all your values up the top. They put what they order, then the next person, and they add up cumulatively so they can see where they're going. So this is your business file. You've then got you've got your freedom plan. Well, the rocket one is giving you that in more detail. Everyone needs to have those printed out and ready. You want to give your franchisee the best start because it's actually giving you the best start of success. And if you're thinking, my sponsor didn't do this to me, just make a decision right now tonight that you're going to be the best sponsor you can ever be. Okay. I've next got the diagrammatic plans of the marketing plan, which you will find in the profit and incentive guide. The profit and incentive guide is, I think it's in quick links, and it's on the second or third page. It's a diagrammatic look. And at some stage, if you don't understand it, you need to ask for some tuition from me, some coaching from me to talk you through that. It has to be when you're bright and fresh and not to get overwhelmed with it, because it's not important to understand it fully and remember it. It's just to have an idea of where you're going, and it can really make the penny drop. So always have copies of that. And then I have copies of the newly edited Getting Started training documents 1, 2, and 3. And then I've got some copies of a memory jogger. It's really only to show people, because I want to empower them, not to enable them. If I gave them a few sheets for their memory jogger, I want them to learn to get their username and password, go onto their own virtual office, find the memory jogger, or look in our Dropbox or look in our files and get it themselves. And quite frankly, you don't even need that form. All you need is a few sheets of paper, and go hell for leather on everyone you've met in your entire life. That's your memory jogger. And then, of course, and remember, you're not going to teach people in their very first training meeting with you, but you're going to want to do show and tell through your business file. And some of these in the first meeting you really will use. So you've always got a copy of your grid to show people. And you can use your very, very, very well used grid to use as an example and show them, can't you? Or use the grid, don't you? Of course you do. And then I have application forms for new franchisees, because don't forget, I've been sitting there chatting to a prospect who's actually come to sign up, and I want them to make sure they're making an informed decision. So we've gone through lots of things I've just been discussing. We're doing their form. We're doing a direct credit request, because you can't put in an application form unless they've got their bank account details to get their pay. I then always have, just handy in case someone doesn't have a credit card, a direct debit request form in case they need to use that for their bank details. Something that a lot of franchisees forget to do with their new people is ask them if they're okay spending a further $11 and ordering a set of 40 farm fresh nutrition brochures. Now, to do that, obviously you can do that, encourage them to do that online, but I'm still the old school. I like to send in, scan and email an application form, their order form, their direct credit request, and I also do an Australian franchisee wholesale order form with at least a pack of brochures ordered. And then I'm just having a little further look. I've got a few extra things in my business file that you really don't have to have. But the next thing you really do need, because you're on your way to NMD and you're going to start getting a team, do you have the Fast Track Restart Freedom Plan? It's actually the second page. When you print out your Freedom Plan, you'll find it's a restart one. But I suggest you put it quite towards the back of your business file, because you really don't need that straight away. And then the other few things that I have that I am suggesting you need is a restart application form and a first-time qualifiers bonus claim form. And that really is all you need in your business file. It's not a big ask, guys, and if you want to, you can always ring me and ask me, and we can go through and see what you've missed out. But just think about what you will need to explain the business to your brand new frontline franchisees so you are duplicating. Because the better equipped you are and the better you explain it, you can then hope that you will duplicate with that person. Now, if anyone doesn't know how to do this, they need to ask for help. Now, I always suggest that anyone who hasn't had a meeting with me comes along and has a meeting with me. But it would be really, really helpful for me if I know they've had the basic training. So I'm going to go back and ask a few questions now. This is really when this call tonight gets started. And as I said, I'm going to do whether it needs to be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, We're going to continue this theme for the next few weeks. So I hope that everyone will listen to this recording, and then by the time next Monday is on, they'll be ready to go like you are, the ones who are on the call tonight. So I'm going to ask you guys, you've got a new franchisee. Are you excited? Okay. What do you do with them? Feel free to unmute yourself if you've got any suggestions. Where do you start? What would be the very first thing that you would do, what you would have in front of you, so you could coach yourself to be the best sponsor you could be? This isn't a quiz. We should actually all know this. And this is a real, probably when I give you the answer, you'll think, I knew that. You need to know it. You need to believe it. You need to absolutely have it sink in, and you need to study it. I spent a lot of time on this, guys. It's for duplication. So training documents 1, 2, and 3. I've edited it. It's in our Facebook Team Angels page. It's all edited. There's nothing that misses out. If you've got a willing franchisee and you are a wonderful sponsor, that person has every chance of success. The only reason why they won't be successful is themselves, because you're doing the best you can by starting them off. So, how?
Can I add in there? Sorry, Hill, because you asked a question. Can I add in? When you say when you first got a new franchisee in front of you, I guess the first thing that came to my mind is obviously having the application form, which I've done with people before. So when they've agreed to join the business, I've always got an application form and get them to fill it in straight away. I know it can be done online, but I get them to complete all the paperwork, like you were talking about the credit form, the application form, and then I usually have handy, I've always got these extra like little gifts that I can give them.
Beautiful.
And thank them for joining.
That's wonderful, Rachel. And before that person gets to your home or the cafe or wherever you're doing that, have that pack ready. Application form, order form, direct credit request, wholesale order form for their brochures. It's being organised, it's being professional. So thanks for adding that, Rach. So how do you start a VF? Well, you already talked to them, they're excited, they've agreed to meet with you, and they're ready to sign up. So let's assume that they've already done that signing up. What do you say to them? I want you to have the best start that I can possibly give you. Are you open to having 2 or 3 training sessions with me? They can be one-on-one in my home, in your home, on a Zoom call, on a phone call, at a cafe, but it needs to be done. Are you open to learning the fast and easy way? And if you get a yes from them, first thing you do is you say, we've got these wonderful documents. It's called Getting Started 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to work our way steadily through it. There's getting started, there's getting it done, and there's keeping it going. And you can probably all think of other things that you could do you can show them their freedom plan, or you can send them to Hunters and Gatherers, Road to SDVF Success. It's all in here, guys. This took me weeks, probably months, and I've just edited it. I would like to think, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet, this is pure gold. This will enable you to be the best sponsor you can be. Will everyone have some of these printed out by tomorrow? Will everyone have their business file up to date by the end of the week? Ready to maybe start next Monday, which is the 23rd of January, only a week left of January, ready to get going. Kids go back to school and you're going to go hell for leather because you're organised and prepared. Okay, so tonight, just for the next 10 minutes before we call it a night, probably 10, 15 minutes at the most, we're going to start on training 1. Getting started. So just remember, this isn't a real thing to study. You are just, you don't want to spoon feed your new franchisee. You're guiding them so they will step up and do what it's suggesting. Okay? So you are spoon feeding them at the start, but you will have homework for them. And you value your own time. So if you've arranged to have the next one in a day and a half, 2 days' time, they haven't done their homework from the first page, well, that's just not good enough. And you have to be assertive enough to say, I need to know that you've done the homework before we can go on to training too. So this year is my year of being really assertive with that. I am not desperate for new franchisees. I want franchisees who really get it like I do. The ones who don't, I'm going to wish them well. I'm going to let them know that I'm ready whenever they are, that everything they need to know is here. And if they can't understand it or don't know what it means, to please contact me. But the ones who really want it, I will be by their side as we work through it. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're allowing people to be where they want to be. People who want to climb the mountain, we will really be there with them for this. People who want to sit in the valleys, and I can't think who I got that from, but it was from one of the Success Summit webinars. Allow them to be there in that valley. They are so valuable to you. But why would you waste your time that you could be doing the 5 high-paying activities, talking to new people? Why would you be desperate? And while you're waiting for your check to be up to that first 1,000 or so, it's easy to become desperate. Please don't. Allow people to be where they are. Because what you're doing, you're releasing yourself to go and find new ones who want it as badly as you do. Some of those people in the valley, they will really, really be happy to step up at another stage, particularly if they see other people in your little team or in our big team who are inspiring them. Wow, maybe I should do this. Or their circumstances might change. And their little thing that they were doing this as a hobby and for a bit of pocket money, maybe $300, $400, $500, $600 a month, all of a sudden their husband's out of a job. Or they want to bring their husband home from FIFO. Or something else has happened, they need a new car. And they've got another $600, $700, $800 payment a month to find. Circumstances change, so always leave the door open. Okay, so getting started. It says here, and you probably have, I was going to let the cat out of the bag and get you to all have one of these printed, but I didn't want to steal the show. I wanted you to understand, you need to know this is here in your lap. This is here ready for you to train a new person. Okay, so it says, before the first meeting, ensure your new franchisee is added to Hunters and Gatherers Road to SDVF Facebook page, and they work through entirely. That's all those videos. And here's your homework. If you haven't done that yourself, or you don't remember what it's like, please do it before next Monday. Make it more important than anything else, because this is you duplicating. Oh, it is amazing, you'll be saying. You want to say that genuinely. It's a brilliant page we have, brand new franchisees. It will make the penny drop so quickly if you look at it. I'm happy to discuss. Every time you watch one of the videos, I'm happy to discuss it with you. But it's very straightforward. Enjoy it. Let me know when you've done it. So when you sit down doing this, they've already done that. So then you're going to give them a starter guide. If you can't afford to buy them, well, then you're going to just print some out and give them to you. Because don't forget, we're so busy in the office these days, it might take ages for their starter kit to come out with their own starter guide. Wouldn't you rather they had the one that you gifted, and then when they get the one in their gift back, they can actually gift it to their one? And indeed, hopefully you've set the example and you've told them, notice how I'm giving you maybe a brand new glossy one, or I haven't got any at the moment, so I've printed several out, so I've got them in my new franchisees. They will duplicate your efforts if they want this badly enough. And use the word all the time. I hope you will duplicate me. I'm going to help you set up your business file so you can do what we're doing today. Is this all making sense? Is this a perfect start for a new franchisee? It already sounds good to me. An ideal world, but you guys have all got it in you to do this, and you've got the resources. Okay, Duplication diagram. This is used to explain the simplicity of our business and is a useful tool to use down the line to assess where further training is required and where blocks may be. Go through it yourself and you'll see where your blocks might be. You're not talking enough, or you haven't got a good daily method of operation, or you're not doing customer care, or you're not building for events. Did you notice those 5 high-paying activities were all in there? They're all in your duplication diagram. So by next Monday, you'll all have your business file and you'll be ready. Drip feed handouts. Ensure your franchisee has been directed to our Dropbox and is getting copies done so they're organised. They don't have to have fancy cupboards. They can have a lever arch file with sleeves are ideal. And also I probably need to put on there that our Facebook page has got a lot of those documents as well. And also it's a really good idea to either tag the Dropbox link to them. All you've got to do is go and find it on our Team Angels Facebook page and tag your new franchisee, and then they've got the Dropbox link, or you can email it to them. Introduce them to our absolutely amazing juicycrew.info website. Wow, you've got to use that. Who's had a really good look at that? Tina's even been working on it over the holidays. It is sensational. It is absolutely amazing. And if you're not using that yourself to inspire yourself or your new franchisees, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because really, someone who lives in Whoop Whoop, Timbuktu, just with the training 1, 2, and 3 and our website, our beautiful team website, they're home and hosed. They really are. Okay. Go through the website briefly if you've got time. Now, you don't have to click on things, but point out that these things you can click on, and there's a wealth of information. It's just the same as going through your virtual office briefly. Okay, discuss talking. Talk to them that they'll have their memory jogger, their warm list, but one day they'll run out of their warm list. When they're finished talking to everyone on their warm list, they'll need to know how to approach their cold market. And their cold market will be talking to strangers, and also what's our biggest thing at the moment, social media. Now, I'm going back to good old-fashioned things and talking to people. Anyone who really suggests social media will still say you cannot beat face-to-face, belly-to-belly, or even a phone call, a real voice. It cannot take the place. But if you don't know the people, social media is a great thing. Discuss events and arrange two launch dates. So if the person is in your locality, in your vicinity, ask them if they would like to have a launch. It's a brand new business. Why wouldn't you want to have a launch? And here's a little trick of the trade. We usually suggest 2 launches, because if Mel's got a launch for her new person on Sunday, and a lot of people say to the new franchisee, oh, look, sounds really great, but I can't come on Sunday. Mel can say to her new franchisee, let's do one on the Wednesday night, because a lot of people won't be able to come. Wouldn't it be great to have a comeback and say, that's okay, we're repeating it on the Wednesday evening. And if they can't come to that one, then you can start to suss out, well, they're just, making excuses. They don't know that they need it yet, or they're genuine. And then you can just arrange to have a coffee and chat to them about it anyway. But 2 launch dates are really good. So is this sounding good so far when you're starting your new franchisee off? Is this duplication at its best? Who wishes that their sponsor, no disrespect to anyone's sponsor, who wishes they had this sort of support right from day one? Who wishes they demanded this support? Because you can demand. Just say your sponsor isn't really serious at the business. Keep going upline. It would be the same as if my frontline people, if I wasn't doing the right thing by them, they need to go upline to Bronnie. If Bronnie can't help them, upline to Tamara till they click with someone, and someone who will help. We all have that right. And that's why I often say we invite people to apply, and when they're accepted, we have a responsibility to really make sure that they're offered training at least. Okay, so go through the starter guide. just touch on things briefly. I'm hoping when we hang up in a few minutes that you will actually print out the training 1, 2, and 3, and you'll be able to look at it and see what we've discussed tonight. Go through the starter guide. Get your starter guide out and have a look at it. Do you actually know what's in the starter guide yourself? It is pure and absolute gold. It's not a training at this meeting one. It's just letting them know it's there. You're trying to empower them to do their homework and to want to learn. Okay, discuss the freedom plan. This is why you need to have those copies. This is why I went through my business file telling you what's in it. So nearly everything I've talked about so far, I had ready, didn't I, in that business file. Okay, so you're going to discuss the freedom plan and the bonuses. And then you're going to go to the bright orange one and say this is just an enlarged version of the freedom plan, and you're also going to show them the PVC values. So that's that tracking form that's got all the products and what points they get when they put on their own orders and other people. You're then going to discuss their why and explain the importance of its emotional strength and the 4 beliefs. And if you don't know those beliefs, just very quickly, it's belief in the product, belief in the company, belief in the industry, our direct sales, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, and very importantly, the belief in yourself. And as a lot of the people on the webinar said this last week, if you want to be successful, you've got to grow you. So there's a lot of personal growth needs to happen as well. Briefly show them, if you're with them in a cafe or with them face-to-face, your own virtual office, and alert them what to do when their username and password comes in. And just show them how they need to go in and sort out their website, and they can change their password if they'd like to. And then it's just got another heading, homework. Attempt their product and business stories. Where will they find that? In their starter guide. Were you aware that's where they would find it? That's where they find it, because you've just been through their starter guide with them. Start their memory jogger. Get excited about their memory jogger. So you should have 100 or so people on there by the end of a couple of days. Get excited. Start inviting to the launches. Maybe you want to help them with a flyer for their launch. Listen to at least 2 DVDs. Now this is old hat. You can either give them a couple of DVDs, Soil to Capsule and 9 Steps. You can even, if you've got a copy of The Rise of the Entrepreneur, loan that to them. But most importantly there, you say their homework is to explore the Juicy Crew. And I'm just writing that down because even myself, I'm seeing that there needs to be more editing, which I will do it. And I believe that Tina has actually, she's putting this training 1, 2, and 3 on our website, on our team website. So I will again tomorrow edit it. The poor girl, she's made it much prettier than the ones I'm holding now, and she'll have to re-edit it again. So we're always grateful for Tina for doing all that for us. So then start talking. That's their homework as well. Tell them they don't need to know enough. They just need to let people know that they care and that they're excited and passionate. Set a date for training 2, and that's preferably within the next 3 days. And with the Freedom Plan, you're explaining to them the importance of their first 10 days so they can get that bonus of $100. And they really, if they want that next training there and then, and there's not kids running around and you've got the time and they've got the time, keep going. But make sure they know that that homework has to be done. Then ask them to download free Voxer and Zoom and purchase their GoPro. I personally I've got several books and lots of the audios, and I gift it to them. But I fully respect that, you know, when you're not earning income, you may not want to do that. But it's a beautiful, beautiful gift. And I actually took to saying recently to someone, and if you find that you don't want to do this business as seriously as some of us do, and we're really happy for you to be wherever you want to, I'd love you to pop it back to me if you really don't think you can use it, because there's many people who will. So I'm being really assertive and tough in my old age, but it's going to work for me. Okay, your sponsor homework. So this is your homework. You've just told the new franchisee what you'd like them to do, and in their own interest what they need to do. So for your homework, you need to add them to our Facebook group, to Hunters and Gatherers, and to go to Juice Plus Australia, New Zealand, and Juice Plus Events, and add to Voxer. Email some upline, and a lot of people don't think to add people to Voxer, but this is all on this here. It's a foolproof guide to starting your franchisee off the best way you can. You can even email some upline NMDs and ask them to welcome your new team members. That's myself, Bron, Tamara, Mark, Steve, and Danny. It's all optional, but it's something you might like to do. So I want to leave it there for tonight. I would like to think that any of you who have got team, that you would be on a Voxer or Facebook, in your Facebook groups if you've got one, on a PM, any way you can contact all your team. Tell them about the call tonight. Tell them it will be on our Hillary Manners YouTube channel by tomorrow. I'll upload it there, and that everyone, if they want to be successful, needs to be on it. So each and every one of you either have got or will have team. So I think you'll agree that this night's call is really important, and it's almost a little bit not pointless, but it's not as effective for people who are going to come on next week if they haven't listened to this call. So we're recording this and we'll put it up there for posterity. So I'd like to thank you all for being on tonight. I will open it up to questions. I'm not sure if anyone's got any questions, but before I stop the record, it is getting late. The recording, I'm getting all tongue-tied. Does anyone have any questions? If you have, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I've got one.
Great, Rach. What would you like to ask?
Could be putting myself into trouble here because I clearly haven't looked really well through the Juicy Crew website. But, you know, is it sort of user-friendly in the such we can say to new franchisees, just go there and it will take you through it step by step, like the Team B one or whoever created that other one? Have we duplicated Rachel? Yeah, so they can actually go road to DBF kind of thing, and they can click on it, and their training is all there step by step. Or no?
Not sure if it's. I think you're talking about the blueprint.
Yeah.
The blueprint. The best thing for you to do is have a look at it yourself and think, okay, this my new franchisee, has it got all the steps? Because all the steps are really more, and I don't know what Tina's added in the last week or so, but I will get Tina to listen to this call as well and look at that question. But really, the whole thing is in getting started 1, 2, and 3. If you sent them to the Hunters and Gatherers Road to Success, to SDVF, that's what they need to do. You know, you're never going to have a page or a website or anything, a Dropbox that's going to give the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess it's more like the links to different things. So you know how we look at the starter guide, you're talking about having your business file. So getting started 1, you click on 1 if you're a new franchisee, and there's a link to all the, or showing you where to find.
There's a lot of the links you click on will take you straight to things. To
those forms, okay. Yep.
Not necessarily, I'm not sure. Tina does not want to clutter it. That's why we've got a Dropbox and a Facebook page, but at some stage, that website, and remember Tina does this on her own time, at some stage that website will be so complete, exactly what you're saying. Any forms you need will be on it. Good question, Rach. Thank you. Anyone else? No? We'll stop the recording, and please make sure everyone knows in your teams that this is a recording that will be on the YouTube channel, and they need to listen to it before our call next week. Thanks, guys, and good night.